Okay, your flash is on. Girl, I already got my picture.
Hello and welcome to the Marley High School Auditorium. At this time, we ask that you turn off all electronic devices that may emit sound or light. Please note that any recording of this performance, either through video or photography, is strictly prohibited. Thank you, and now enjoy the Marley High School Drama Club's production of Hello, Dolly.
Ladies and gentlemen of excellent family, introduced under the most respectable conditions of elegance and refinement. Object, matrimony. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to offer my usual lightning services today, as I have a previous appointment in Yonkers, New York, arranging the second marriage of Mr. Horace Van Gelder, the well-known half-a-millionaire. As my late husband, Reverend Levi, used to say, that means he's got at least 60,000 cash. But I'll be sure to have you carried across some thresholds before the week is out. Now, I might also mention I'm available for financial consultation, instruction in the guitar and mandolin, short-distance hauling, and varicose veins reduced. Come on, Dolly. She's the one that says to recommend his name, the kind of man your sister. Once and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your name and next and she'll match him up. Come on, Dolly. Mr. Kemper, the artist. Oh, you know I'm something of an artist myself. Yes, I do those silhouettes with the scissors and the black paper. Oh, look, here's one of Abraham Lincoln looking the other way. I have to do them like that because I'm no good at noses.
Mrs. Levi, the train for Yonkers is in 5 minutes, and if we don't get there on time...
But we will, Mr. Kemper. And not only will Horace Van Gelder give you permission to marry his niece Ermengarde, but he will also dance at your wedding. And not alone either, because I happen to be engaged in finding him a suitable second wife himself. What he really wants is someone steady to clean at the house. As my late husband, Reverend Levi, used to say, marriage is a bribe to make a housekeeper think she's a householder.
I know all about it, Mrs. Levi. Half of New York says he's going to propose to Mrs. Irene Malloy this very afternoon.
Which is exactly why I'm on my way to Yonkers and can take on your case and knock off 4 lovebirds with 1 stone and well. Would you look at that? I have nothing here to pay my train fare with. Only large bills, 5s and 7s.
I have some change in here somewhere. I just hope this isn't a wild goose chase, Mrs. Levi.
Oh, and speaking of poultry, I am also available for fresh Jersey eggs, surgical corsets reboned, pierced ears, and pierced ears replugged.
Tell me, Mrs. Levi, what's in all this for you?
A living, Mr. Kemper. Some people paint, some sew. I meddle. I have always been a woman who arranges things for the pleasure and the profit it derives. I have always been a woman who arranges things like furniture, daffodils, and alive. When a man with a timid tongue meets a girl with a diffident air, why should the tortured creatures beat around the bush when heaven knows Mother Nature always needs a little push? I put my hand in here. I put my hand. And a girl over 6'3" loves a man who comes up to her ear. My, surely it's obvious she'll never be seduced till some kind soul condescends to give her a little boost. I put my hand in there. I put my hand. I have always been a woman who arranges things. It's my duty to assist the Lord above. I have always been a woman who arranges things like luncheon parties, poker games, and a love. My aplomb at cosmetic art turned her frump to a trump lady fair. She had a countenance a little bit like Scrooge, but oh, today you would swear the Lord himself applied a rouge. I put my hand in here. I put my hand in there, and I twist a little, stir a little, whip a little, her a little, shape a little, mold a little, suck or jacket, sew a little. When I use my fist a little, some young guy gets kissed a little, pressure with the thumbs. Matrimony comes when I put my hand in there.
Mrs. Levi?
I know the Yonkers train is ready to leave. Now you go buy our tickets, get a window seat, order lunch, and I'll meet you on board. Ephraim, I'm going to get married again. I'm going to marry Horace Vangether for his money and send it out circulating among the people like rainwater, the way you taught me. And I want a sign from you sometime today that you approve. Oh, no, it won't be a marriage in the way that we had one, but I shall certainly make him happy. And I'm tired, Ephraim. Tired of living hand to mouth, so I want that sign.
Mrs. Levi?
Sometime today. Now, don't you worry, Mr. Kemper. We'll make that train. We'll get to Yonkers. You'll marry Ermengarde. Just leave everything to me. For when my little pinky wiggles, some young maiden gets the giggles, then I make my knuckles at him. Mom says she's so attractive, then I
And I say you're too young to be in love with anybody. Here, take this.
I'm not too young. I'm 17. In another year, I'll be an old maid.
Well, I forbid it. Dare to be an old maid or in the garden, I'll cut you off without a cent.
I can't help it. I'm unhappy.
Then, like thunder, you'll go and weep for a while in New York where it won't be noticed. Now go upstairs and start packing your things. And don't get any tears on the lock. It was just oil. Cornelius Barnaby!
You stamped, Mr. Van Gelder?
I did. I got news for you both. I am going to New York this afternoon to march in the 14th Street Association Parade. And when I come back, you're going to have a mistress.
I'm too young, Mr. Vandergelder.
Not yours, hell and damnation, mine! I mean, I'm getting married again. And in honor of that occasion, I decided to promote you, Cornelius, to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Van Gelder?
You're an impertinent fool, that's what you are! And now I'm promoting you from impertinent fool to chief clerk. Any more questions?
Yes.
What?
Does the chief clerk get an evening off a week?
So that's the way you thank me for your promotion, is it? No, sir, you'll go and attend to the store as usual. Now get back to work. And don't forget to put the lid on the sheet tip. Evenings off, marrying artists, foolishness. 99% of the people in this world are fools, and the rest of us are in great danger of contamination. Why, even I was once young, which was foolish, and got married, which was foolish, and was poor, which was more foolish than anything else. Then my wife died, which was foolish of her. I grew older, which was sensible of me, and became rich, friendless, and mean, which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go. Oh, I know what you're thinking now. Why, a man of such good sense to be planning anything as foolish as getting married again. Well, the answer's simple. This house without a woman would be an empty shell. And pretty dirty, too. It takes a woman all powdered in pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft-dressed fingers for dumping the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
The frail young maiden who's constantly there, washing and bluing and chewing the men. And it takes a female for setting the table and weaving the curtain and cleaning the stable.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. And so she'll work until infinity. 3 cheers for femininity. F-E-M-I-T-Y.
Get out of here! The winter shall shovel the ice and lovingly sets out the trap for the mice. She's a joy and treasure, for practically speaking, for who can you turn when the plumbing is leaking?
That dainty woman, that fragile woman, that sweetheart, that mistress, that wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman,
A husky woman.
to bring you the sweet things in life. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a
sympathy.
Did I say that? A slip of the tongue, that's all. No, I'm delighted with the happy news. After all, she wasn't easy to unload. By that I mean, you know what people said, although I, for one, never believed the rumors. No, I didn't.
Rumors? What rumors?
Nothing to get upset about, Mr. Van Gelder. I mean, according to all known facts, her first husband passed on quite naturally. It's just that he went so sudden. A few spoonfuls of that chowder she made special for him, and... But it could happen to anyone, there's no truth in it. Just one word of advice, Mr. Van Gelder. Eat out.
Now, hold on, Mrs. Levi. You mean to say that Mrs. Malloy...
I mean to say nothing, Mr. Van Gelder. Just friendly advice. Keep away from the chowder. Oh, she's ordered her wedding gown. You should see it. Black. Well, as I said before, Mr. Van Gelder, congratulations on your forthcoming nuptials, and may you rest, may guardian angels watch over you both, particularly at dinner.
Now look here, Miss Levi. You introduced me to Mrs. Malloy, and rumors or not, I intend on calling her this afternoon as arranged.
Very well, Mr. Van Gelder. Then I guess I'll just have to go back to New York and tell the other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
What did you say?
Nothing. A word. Heiress.
Particulars, Mrs. Levi. I demand particulars. Her name.
Her name is Money. Ernestina Money.
What a lovely, lovely name.
Picture, if you will, hair as shiny as a newly minted dime, eyes as big and round as silver dollars, skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
I can feel her now.
Age 19, weight 102, waist 47.
Waist 47?
That's with the money belt. Now, I can arrange for you to meet this Ernestina this very afternoon.
I ain't got time, Mrs. Levi. I got to bring my niece Ermengarde to New York this afternoon until she forgets a certain Ambrose Kempler.
Well, I can do that for you, Mr. Van Gelder. I know just how to handle such things.
Then I'm marching in the 14th Street Parade.
Oh, what an amazing coincidence! Guess who's been chosen to ride on the main float? The spirit of 14th Street, Miss Money. Her mother was a cash, you know.
All right, Mrs. Levi, I'll go and meet Miss Money at the parade, but I still intend on paying another call to Mrs. Malloy first.
Oh, Mr. Van Gelder, what races you make me run. Very well, I'll meet you on that bench in front of Miss Malloy's hat shop at 2:30 as usual.
One more thing. Suppose I decide against Mrs. Malloy, and I don't like Miss Money neither.
Well then, I happen to have one more name on my list. A name I know as well as my own. But let's not get into that now. It'll come up by itself, all in good time. Don't you worry about it. Oh, but wait till you see Ernestina, Horace. A vision. A dream.
It takes a woman all powdered pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft dressing fingers for dumping the ashes.
It takes a woman. You know, Ephraim, I think we'll have that room done over in blue wallpaper. Yes, in blue. Ambergard, Ambrose, we've got plans to make.
Promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk. And if I'm good in another 10 years, I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. 33 years old, Barnaby, and I still don't get an evening free. Where am I going to begin to live?
You can live on the holidays, Cornelius.
Did you forget what they did to us last Christmas? Oh, those rotten tomato cans went bad, and you and I had to clean up the mess all afternoon. Do you call that a living?
No.
Barnaby, you and I are going to New York!
You mean close the store?
Uh-huh.
Cornelius, we can't.
We'll have to. Some more rotten tomato cans are going to explode.
Holy cabooses! How do you know?
I'm going to light this candle underneath them. That's how I know. They create such a smell that people won't be able to come into the place for 24 hours. Not only is it evening free, we're going to New York, Barnaby, and we're going to live. We're going to have a good meal. We're going to be in danger. We're going to spend our money. We're going to be arrested.
Holy cabooses!
And one more thing. We're not coming back to Yonkers until we eat this the girl.
But, Cornelius, you can't do that. You don't know any girls.
I'm 33 years old, Barnaby. I gotta begin sometime.
I'm only 17, Cornelius. It isn't so urgent for me.
New York, Barnaby. Elevated trains, the lights of Broadway, the stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
A stuffed whale?
A stuffed whale. What do you say?
Yes, Cornelius, yes!
Now, the first thing to do is make you financially independent. I know, I'll get you a job. Can you dance?
I am an artist, Mrs. Levi. I paint.
Well then, my card.
Mrs. Levi, painters taught how to dance?
Now, there's a man, Rudolph Reisenhower at the 14th Street Harmonia Gardens. I'll give you a note to him and we'll see if he can't have you both entered into the polka contest tonight. The prize is a week's engagement and a gold cup. Oh, the cups we won, Ephraim and me.
Hold on, Mrs. Levi. No fiancé of mine is gonna set foot into a cafe. And I don't mind saying, I'm surprised you have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kepler, friends. Friends from days gone by. My late husband, Ephraim Levi, believed in life in any place you could find it. Cafes, ballrooms, yes, even theaters. Why, even when times were hard, every Saturday night like clockwork down those stairs at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant we came, Ephraim and me.
It's all very well to come down like clockwork, Mrs. Levi, but you are asking for Ermengarde to go and work there.
It's the only way to show a Horace band together we mean business. Now, you go to the Harmonia Gardens and tell them Mrs. Levi sent you, and incidentally tell Rudolph that Dolly's coming back. And I want a chicken and a table for two for 8 o'clock tonight.
The bottom row looks alright, Cornelius. Now move the candles to the ones up top. Not too close. They look like they're ready to burst. Oh, holy cabooses. I can smell that up here.
Oh, get this, Barnaby. You and I are going to New York. Out there's a world outside of Yonkers. Way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby. See out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glistening, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out the brilliant teen and dine cigars. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. Girls will lighten up perfume night where the lights are bright as the stars. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town. And one of those horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the show, the Delmonicos, and we'll close the town and the world. And we won't come home until we kiss a girl.
Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Strut down the street and have your picture took. Just like a dream, your spirit seemed to turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that
buckles and bows. For there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes.
New York City, Barnaby! Elevated trains, the lights of Broadway!
Wow!
The stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum!
Holy cabooses!
Come on!
Put on your Sunday. Feel down and out. Trot down the street and have your picture shown.
Just like a dream, your spirit seems to turn about.
And Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you love. Beneath the parasol, the world is all a smile. That makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your feathers, your patent letters, your beads, your buckles and bows. For there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes. Beneath the polar brim, the world's a simple song. A lovely love that makes you tilt your nose. Get out your slickers, your flannel knickers, your red suspenders and hose. For there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes.
And stop sniffling, don't cry, little nieces. We haven't missed the train yet, thank the Lord. Lovely, you're improving now to all 11 pieces. We're 7 minutes late. All aboard!
Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Put on your silk cravats and patent shoes. For I can feel adventure in the evening air. To town we'll trot to a smoky spot where the girls are hot as a fuse. Put on your high silk hat and at the turn of we'll join the actors as lonely pastors and kiss some mothers in love. That we won't come home. That we won't come home. That we won't come home until we fall in love. I still hacking at the turn of cup. Wear a handmade gray suede button glove. We'll join the masters at home, and kiss some positive love. That we won't come home. That we won't come home. That we won't come home until we fall in love.
Oh dear, oh my! Will you look at that? 10 o'clock and the shop's not opened yet. It's all because of that impending marriage, I tell you. What marriage? Oh, I thought you knew. Why, the marriage of Mrs. Levi is arranged between Mr. Horace Vandergelder, the well-known Yonkers and half a millionaire, and my employer and friend, Mrs. Irene Malloy. Although if you ask me, he'd never take the place of her late husband, Mr. Peter Malloy. May he rest in peace, wherever he is. I'm not sure. He was a caution, you know. Oh, it's all too much with the late husbands and new marriages, and on top of everything else. Miss Mortimer, returning this hat for the 3rd time. Same old story. She wants more cherries and feathers. Cherries and feathers to catch a bow, I suppose. Although, if you ask me, she'd be better with a nice heavy veil. I told her, ribbons down her back is only wearing this summer if you want to catch someone's eye. But she'd have none of it. Cherries and feathers she wants. On today of all days, when that poor, dear, sweet Mrs. Malloy
I married Horace Vandergelder for one reason and one reason alone, Minnie. To get out of the millinery business. I hate hats!
Mrs. Malloy!
And I can no longer stand being suspected of being a wicked woman with nothing to show for it.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy!
Don't protest, Minnie. All millineresses are suspected of being wicked women. That's why I can't go into restaurants, balls, or theaters. Take my word for it, Minnie. Either I marry Horace Vandergelder or I break out of this place like a fire engine. Not Miss Mortimer again.
Miss Mortimer, I'll take care of it.
No, Minnie. Leave it be. You can make Miss Mortimer another hat if you like. I'm wearing this one myself.
Mrs. Malloy, you can't. You're a widow in that hat. Well, it's provocative, that's what.
It is, Minnie. Who knows who may come into the shops today? And provocative may be just what I want to be.
Mrs. Malloy! If you say vampire, I'll scream.
Vampire!
We'll get an adventure out of this step, Barnaby. All day long, we wander around New York City and nothing happens. Then we come to the quietest street in the city, and then suddenly...
Vandergelder!
Is he still out there? Go look!
Oh, he's sitting on that bench, Cornelius. Are you sure this is an adventure?
You don't have to ask, Barnaby. When you're in one, you'll know it, all right? Now, how much money have you got left?
Not much, Cornelius. 40 cents for the train ride back, 30 cents for dinner, and 20 cents to see the whale. 90 cents. Why?
When those women come back in, we'll have to pretend to be customers. Customers! That's it! Maybe the best thing to do is to make them think we're rich. Then we won't have to spend anything. We're just two men about town looking for hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy.
Here, Cornelius Hackle.
Here, Barnaby Tucker.
A pleasure to be meeting you, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you?
We're hats, you see, and we want to buy a lady or two to Malloy with.
We want a hat! For a lady. Of course. And everyone said go to Mrs. Malloy because she's so pretty. I mean, her hats are so pretty.
I'm so reasonable, Cornelius. As reasonable as under $1, which would leave us enough to see the whale.
You mustn't pay him no mind, man. He comes all the way from Yonkers, New York to see the big whale, and he's all excited. Just keep an eye out on that street, Barnaby, and maybe you'll see it pass by.
Is it big and black with mean little red eyes?
Yes!
It's sitting on that bench.
Excuse me, Mr. Hackle, but did you say Yonkers?
Well, of course, and forgive me for saying this, but you should really see Yonkers. And by that I mean, maybe your husband would like to see Yonkers too.
Oh, I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
You are? Barnaby, she's a widow! That's too bad. Would have loved Yonkers, especially with all these hats. On you! Of course, not Mr. Malloy. May he rest in peace. You're Catholic, right? Well, don't let that worry you. I'd be willing to change. Mrs. Malloy, if you ever happen to have a Sunday free in the near future, I'd be more than willing to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hackle, I may be in Yonkers sooner than you may think.
Oh, really?
You see, I have a friend who lives in Yonkers.
You do?
Why, you might even know him.
Maybe we do.
Though it's always foolish to ask in cases like this, isn't it? It's Horace Vandergelder.
Horace Vandergelder?
Of Vandergelder's Hay and Feed?
Do you know him?
Oh, no.
I hear he's a substantial man and well-liked, they tell me.
A lovely man. Just lovely. As far as I know. He's hard as nails.
Cornelius, I think...
Oh, I wonder if your friend might like this one.
Oh, begging your pardon, Miss Malloy.
What? Gentlemen, what are you doing?
I'll explain everything later, Miss Malloy, but you have to help us.
Oh,
Look out!
get out of this cupboard this instant! Well, really, Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, if you don't come out of there this instant, I'll be forced to kick you out. Mr. Vandergelder.
Mrs. Malloy, I don't suppose Mrs. Levi is here, is she? She was supposed to meet me on that bench 10 minutes ago. Well, she can just go looking for me if she comes. When I make an appointment, I like people to be on time. Here, these are for you. Chocolate-covered peanuts. Unshelled. That's the expensive kind. Did I just see you talking with two men?
Men, Mr. Vandergelder, and a woman's hat shop. Now, let's get you into my workroom. I'm so anxious for you to see it.
I saw it last week.
So you did. So what's new in the hay and feed business? I hear you have 3 friends. All hard as nails, I mean.
What on earth are you talking about?
Yonkers, I hear it's a beautiful city.
And who's been telling you about Yonkers, may I ask?
Nobody. A friend.
What friend?
Well, you see,
He?
a customer, Mr. Vandergelder. Someone quite well-to-do, as a matter of fact, though it's always silly to ask in cases like this, isn't it? It's Cornelius Hackle.
Did you just say Hackle?
Why, yes,
He happens to be my head clerk. That's all. Mrs. Malloy, I demand an explanation.
And I am going to give it to you! Why shouldn't she know Cornelius Hackle? Everyone in New York knows Cornelius Hackle. He's here at the opera and all the fashionable homes. Why, he's at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant 3 times a week.
Impossible. He's only got 150 $146.35, and I keep it in my own safe.
Oh, Mr. Van Gelder, you're killing me. He's one of the Hackles. They built the canal.
What canal?
The both.
It ain't the same man.
Who took the horses out of gentleman's carriage and rolled into the streets? Cornelius Hackle. And who dressed up as a waiter at the Fifth Avenue Hotel and dropped an oyster down Mrs. Astor's. Oh, I shouldn't say. But it was Cornelius. He's the playboy of New York. Now, Irene, don't deny it. I can see you were taken with him just like everybody else.
Dolly, I've only ever met him once in my mind. I mean, really, Dolly, Minnie, hold your tongue. There's a man in there. Oh.
Now look here, if there's a man in that closet.
No, Mr. Van Gelder, you can't. It's too dangerous.
No man that hides in ladies' closets can frighten me, Mrs. Levi. Now stand aside.
Oh, no, man, indeed. I'm sure you'd make short work of any man. Those muscles. I can see them now, rippling back and forth beneath your coat. Ripple, ripple, ripple.
Now, Mrs. Levi.
Ripple, ripple, ripple.
For the last time, Mrs. Levi, will you stand aside?
Stand indeed, Mr. Van Gelder. That's exactly what the law courts are going to want to know when you're accused of entering that closet without a search warrant. I mean, what do you stand for if not the law of this great land? I know what I stand for. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see him on the hill at Gettysburg? Beep, that great triumphal arch. If you see him as he's tramping through the grapes of wrath, stand up and march, march, march.
Has this not affected you, sir? I came here from a country that oppressed my people. And now I must echo here what was said by that great and patriotic American.
Moses!
I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. There's a tear-stained eagle passing through. You see him on the bridge at Waterloo. See that great triumphal arch. If you see him as he's trampling through the grapes of wrath, stand up and march, march, march. I stand for
Mrs. Malloy?
All right, Mr. Van Gelder, there is a man in that cupboard.
Aha!
And another under this table.
What the devil?
However, there is a very simple explanation for all this. For the present, good afternoon.
Good Lord, the whole room is crawling with men. I'll never get over it. I take it I'll see you later this afternoon, Mr. Van Gelder.
You certainly will, Mrs. Levi, with a certain young lady on the main float at the end of the parade. Good day, Mrs. Malloy.
Mrs. Malloy, I can explain everything. So basically,
I do not wish to hear any explanations, Mr. Hackle. Just do what Mr. Tucker do
That's where they belong. I've been adding up the legal offenses these two have committed, and believe me, you've got grounds for non-compos mentis and the garnishee. Now, the first thing to do is show that you tried to settle it amicably first. Have dinner with them.
Dinner?
Is that absolutely necessary, Dolly?
It's the way things are done in the law, Irene. Dinner first, garnishee afterwards.
Well, if it must be, Mr. Haggle, Mr. Tugger, you may take Miss Fay and myself to dinner.
Delighted, Mrs. Malloy. I speak for Barnaby, too. Now, I hear there's a great restaurant down at the railroad station.
Oh, no, Mr. Hackle. If their Harmonia Gardens is good enough for your fashionable friends, it's good enough for us. I hear they have a lovely orchestra there, Minnie.
Oh, no, we couldn't do that, Mrs. Malloy. Now, don't misunderstand me or anything. It isn't the money. It's just that, well, you know, it's the whale. It's the whale. No, it isn't the whale, Barnaby. It's the dancing. You see, in a place like that, they hold dancing contests and exhibitions, and it would take me months, years to learn how. Miss Dolly Levi taught Chief Clerk how to dance?
Now, it's very simple. You put one hand here, one hand here.
It's absolutely no use. I have no sense of rhythm.
Well, absolutely no sense of rhythm is one of the primary requirements for learning by the Gallagher-Levi method. Just give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackle, and I'll have you dancing through the streets. Now, we will start with lesson 7, the waltz kick turn. Right foot touch, left foot touch, over, back, around, touch, out, over, through, release, unfurled. That's lovely. When I think of the lovely women who will find heaven in your arms. Let's go back to lesson 1. Put your hand on her waist and stand with her right in your left hand, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Wow, I'm dancing. At least I was.
Of course you were, Mr. Hackle. Take the someone whose arms you're in. Hold on to her tight and spin. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Wow, I'm dancing. Don't you think my dancing has a polish and a flair?
Well, the one I think I'd use is athletic.
Well, my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that I'm dancing, who cares if I ever stop? Hi, Cornelius Hackle, sports and dancing!
You're next, Mr. Tucker. Glide and step, and then step, and glide.
And everyone, stand aside!
Look, he's dancing!
You can learn to polka if you were doing corso, or the tango filled with passion seething.
I could join the chorus of the Castle Garden show.
Whatever you do, for gosh sakes, keep breathing. For my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? When there's someone you hardly know and wish you were closer to, remember that he can be near to you while you're dancing.
said hello. He's gotta be someone who can make all your daydreams appear to you while you're dancing. Let the music weave a spell, whirl away your worries. Things look almost twice as well when they're slightly blurry. And around you go. Your spirits will hit the top. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
And before I went to bed, I said a prayer, thanking God that I was in marry you, Ephraim. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without color and without life. And I suddenly realized that I was like that oak leaf. For years, I had not shed one tear, nor had I been filled with the wonderful hope that something or other would happen. And so, I've decided to rejoin the human race. And Ephraim, I want you to give me away before the parade passes by. I'm gonna get in step while there's still time before the parade passes by.
Mrs. Levi, she's beautiful. Everything you said and more. Don't move, Miss Money. I'm coming. I'm on my way. Hey, you cut that out. That's my fiance. Put that back, you. I paid for that woman and I want all the parts. Miss Money, what have they done to you? Mrs. Levi, what is the meaning of this?
Nothing to get upset about, Horace. Just a last-minute substitution. Miss Money had a sudden urgent business appointment at the Mint. They were running low on money and she was helping out. But she will meet you at the Harmonia Gardens tonight at 8.
That's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
Oh, and well, it should be. What food and the fastest waiters in all New York. Oh, by the way, I might be a little late, but she will meet you out front. Oh, and wait till you see her, Horace. All in buttercup yellow and baby pink shoes, and humming an old-fashioned tune. Sweet Rosie O'Grady. You couldn't miss her if you tried.
All right, I'll go, but only because I already paid for the introduction and might as well get my money's worth. But from now on, you are hereby discharged as my marriage broker. Is that clear? From now on, Dolly Gallagher, you are just a normal woman like anyone else. Where are you taking her? What is going on?
Ephraim, he's out!